The LG View has been available for quite some time now with AT&T. It gave US consumers that product-like appeal thanks to its touchscreen capabilities. But now the LG Xenon is set to take some of the successes that the LG View had, specifically the touchscreen, and implements it with a QWERTY keyboard, all at the same time retaining similar dimensions with the View. We're glad to see that the overall shape and size of the LG Xenon remains intact when you compare it to the LG View. The only difference is that it adds a little bit more thickness just because of the slide-up keyboard. The material that they used is blue plastic all around the front and also on the back of the phone, while this chrome material outlines the border, which gives a nice contrast. The touchscreen dominates the front, while you have your send and end key with the middle button used for a task manager. They're flush and very easy to touch and with a good tactile feel. While on the left side, you have the volume rocker. On the opposite, you have a dedicated camera button, unlock and lock button, and also the micro SD card slot. We're glad to see that LG decided to use a standard micro USB port for the charging and connection method for the LG Xenon, when other devices use a proprietary one. And on the back, you have a 2 megapixel camera with LED flashlight and also the speakerphone. If you remove the battery cover, it reveals the battery and also SIM card slot. Overall though, we like the overall feel and size of the phone. It doesn't add any more thickness or bulge in your pocket, and feels really good in the hand, and the construction of it is well made. Now, one of the biggest draws of the LG Xenon is its 4-row QWERTY keyboard. You open it up, it has that snappy feel to it. Now, the keys itself are a little bit tiny and cramped. There's very minimal spacing in between them, so speed typing is going to be a little bit of an issue with the Xenon. There are some dedicated application buttons on the side used to launch various programs, such as the browser or messaging tools. You have the option, you have the navigation pad over here. Unfortunately, it does not navigate through the main menus. It's only used to move the cursor when typing up messages. Additionally, the numbers are highlighted in blue, and in the darkness it does have a pretty good backlighting, so it's very easy to see. Now, the LG Xenon incorporates a new home screen layout, something that's not found on the LG View. For starters, there are 3 different home screens you could choose from. The default one, which you're looking at right now, can be accessed by pressing the home icon on the top here. You could add additional widgets. Up to 6 different widgets can be placed onto the desktop. Now, they have this jerky movement whenever you place it, and feels like it's just lagging behind from what you're doing. It's not as polished as the TouchWiz interface with Samsung's devices, but it works because it gives you a personalized look for each device. The other home screen you have is one for your contacts, so you could pick and choose a variety of different contacts you want to be placed on the home screen. And the other one is for your most widely used applications. You can mix and match whatever one you want, so you just press it and automatically will launch the application. As we said, it's a pretty good layout, something different from the LG View. Now, on the bottom, you have your standard row of icons, dedicated icons. The first one's used for your dialing pad. The other one is your contacts list, and you also have one for your messaging. And of course, the last one here will get you to the main menu, which is the same interface that's found on the LG View with its tab viewing for the variety of different applications. It's pretty swift. We didn't have too much of an issue navigating through the menus. It's pretty simple, and it's just nice because you have that different look and feel for each device. We managed to get a pretty good web browsing experience on the Xenon. It renders pages correctly and looks pretty good. It's pretty swift too, with larger complex websites like ours taking roughly a little bit over a minute just to load up, but everything looks pretty clear. Now, you get a general page overview and has a really good scrolling mechanism, both horizontal and also vertical, which is pretty good. Now, zooming in is accomplished by pressing the zoom button, and you can manually just zoom in. And when you do, it takes a little bit of time, but the phone will automatically re-render all the images. And it's a smooth experience, it's great, and you didn't have too much of an issue using it. Now, watching videos on the Xenon came out to be a pretty good experience. Frame rate was pretty steady, we didn't notice any choppiness or lagging, and detail was pretty good as well. It's very simple. The speaker and audio quality was superb. We could hear everything through the video, and we had a relatively good experience with it. Seeing that the Xenon uses a QWERTY keyboard, there's a bunch of different messaging-based applications you could use. You could create a text message pretty easy. You could use either the generic keypad or use the full QWERTY keyboard. Unfortunately, there isn't an option for a virtual keyboard in landscape. It only gives you the numeric keypad for typing. As far as the other programs go, you have mobile email. Now, the email software that they use can only be run in landscape mode, so it will not work in portrait. And you'll have your listing of different mail providers you could use. If yours isn't on the list, unfortunately, you won't be able to use it. So big names like AIM, AOL, and Hotmail are available, but others like Gmail are not on the phone. And lastly, you could use the IM application. You could either use AIM, Windows Live, or Yahoo Messenger to keep in touch with people. The Xenon comes out to be a decent text messaging device. The new additions, such as the updated widget-based interface, is nice and gives it a decent personalized look and feel. But the overall dimensions and shape remains intact, which is great. The downside is that when you compare it to other phones that set the bar, for example the Samsung Impression, the LG Xenon is a little bit behind those phones in terms of features and wow factor. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty decent device just for using for phone calls and even text messaging.